Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a play, or I guess kind of a teach, sort of fake play, because this is a cooperative-only game, and a review of Dixit Kids, and disclaimer that I got a review copy of this one. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So if you have not played any games in the Dixit series, this has been a favorite of my family's for years. But the basic idea, it's a little bit like, Apples to Apples, in that you have these really awesome, evocative illustrated cards. It is kind of like the main centerpiece of the game. And players are each picking cards, and then you're trying to figure out which one the original person picked, and kind of like judge what the correct card is, and you're getting points based on who picks your card and whether you pick the right card. But we're jettisoning a little bit of that for Dixit Kids, because what's happening in this one is the main male rabbit here is visiting these different burrows of bunnies and trying to invite the bunnies inside. There's two bunny figures underneath each of these. There's like a fun little board that goes on top of, look at that, the inner workings, like the little illustrated houses in there. But yeah, so he's trying to invite these people to his party. And based on the difficulty you're playing at, you will get one chance at each burrow, or you do get a few extra chances. And then your final score, as it were, is based on how many bunnies got invited successfully. So that's the basic goal of the game. And how it works is each player, 3 to 6 players, by the way, although this should be, I think, playable for 2 players, as long as you just flip some random cards into the mix to kind of add some chaos as you're trying to pick the correct things. Maybe. I haven't actually tried it. But for 3 to 6 players, each player has 3 cards. And whoever's turn it is to control the main male rabbit, they will pick one of the 2 little bunnies on the doors here. There's a ton of these for each side, so lots of variety. So let's say they picked this one where the guy's about to eat a carrot, and they would pick whichever of their cards they think best fits. Did I say carrot? That's a terrible choice. Let's go to this one instead. This guy's like, upset with smoke coming out. So here, maybe I would pick this card because it reminds me of the smoke coming out of the bunny's ears with the smoke coming out of the robot suit. Okay, so I would take my card and put it face down secretly, and each of the other players would take their 3 cards, and they would try to pick one that matches this bunny, the one I didn't pick, because they don't want to confuse the group. This is a cooperative game. So let's see, what's something that kind of matches? Oh, here, like these animals drinking water, that might match. Now, let's say they don't have anything that matches the carrot bunny. They, at the very least, at a minimum, want to try to pick something that is the opposite of this one so they don't confuse the group. So let's say they picked the water one, and then, let's see, this other player, it looks kind of like a piece of bacon traveling. Maybe that's a carpet. I don't know. Let's say they picked this flower one. And then you would shuffle them all up, and everyone except the player who originally controlled the head male rabbit, the one who picked for the steam coming out of the ears, would look at these cards, and they would simultaneously, on the count of 3, all try to point to the card that was originally chosen for the matching bunny. If at least 2 of the players do that, so in a 3-player game, everybody except for the head male rabbit, but in a 6-player game, there's more cards to confuse you, but only 2 of you need to pick correctly. If at least 2 players do that, you open up the doors, and you get to bring the bunnies out to the party. And then whether you succeeded or not, each player gets 1 new card. You go to the next house. You give the next player their turn to pick which bunny they want to go with. And you keep doing that until you either run out of rounds. You've got this little day tracker that travels around the exterior of the board. Male rabbit, showing which round it is. And when you get to Sunday, it's time for the party, and you go. All right, so that's how the game is played. Pretty straightforward, but I thought I could do like an actual play on the channel with you all controlling things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend we're in a 4-player game, and you're one of the 4 players, and you're not going to get a turn to be the male rabbit, the head male rabbit, but we're going to otherwise keep you involved. So I'm going to pretend I'm the other 3 players and pick the cards, because clearly you wouldn't need to pick your own card. So you'll have 3 cards to choose from, and you'll have to pick which one was my original one. So we'll see if you can do it successfully and how big our party gets. Here we go. All right, in round 1, the one you're looking for is the one that best matches up with Carrot Bunny and not Steam Out of the Ears Bunny. And go ahead and pause the video for a second, look at these 3 options, and see which one you think I picked for Carrot Bunny and not Steam Out of the Ears Bunny. Okay, are you ready to hear the answer? Well, my options were a little bit flawed here, but I picked this one because carrots are food, and hey, these are like living root vegetables. Like I think that's an onion up there. So that was the one I went with. It's kind of horrifying, but they're about to get cooked, whereas these ones were as close as I can get to the steam out of the ears one. All right, so if you pick that one successfully, that's 2 bunnies for our party. Let's go to the next round. All right, this time we got Kooky Bunny and Brave Bunny about to be eaten by a monster. And I'm picking the Brave Bunny. Let's pick my card. All right, so before I show the cards, I remember we're looking for one that matches that and does not match this. And yeah, good luck. I'm not loving your chances because these are the cards I had. So pause again. See which one you think is Brave Bunny monster like one. You ready for the answer? It was the penguins, because like he looks like he's brave, but the mom's worried because maybe there's monsters out there. I don't know. It was the best I had. All right, 2 more rounds. This time we've got, like Peace and Contentment Rabbit and, Feuding Rabbits. I'm going to pick the Feuding Rabbit. And here are your 3 options. Which one do you think it is? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's the only one with 2 characters. That was the best I could do. They actually look like they're maybe getting along pretty well. But yeah, hopefully that guy. I thought this guy was pretty good for peace and contentment. He does not look very peaceful at all, but he's also not feuding with somebody else. I don't know. All right, final round. Will the party be a dud or super awesome great? Okay, and Head Rabbit's going to pick the yawning one and not the, like, fluffy warm one. All right, here are your 3 options. Pause one last time. Look at them closely. Which one do you think is correct? Yeah, it was this one, because it's beds and it's kind of dark, which is associated with sleep, right? This one looks like it's a TV, but it's also a microwave. It's microwaving your brain as you watch too much TV, so that kind of said heat to me, and this was like the most opposite I can get from that player's hand. There was not much going on there. But yes, that is Dixit Kids. That's exactly how the game goes. And literally what you just did would have been playing through an entire game if you're playing on the harder mode where you only get 1 chance at each burrow. And each time you're correct again, you would have gotten to take the bunnies out and put them on their seats of the party. And then you close the doors, so you can skip that burrow from then on. So yeah, what do I think of this one? I mean, obviously it's primarily aimed at kids, but I will say I've played it several times with just adults, and the randomness of the pictures, the limited options in your hand, because you can only have 3 cards to play with, meant that adults, we lost the game sometimes as well, and we had to play on the easier mode where you have more rounds to actually have a chance of getting a bunch of bunnies to the party. So I don't think this is a game that limits itself to kids, but I think it's going to go over well with kids. Certainly my kids have liked it because the components are so nice. The presentation of the game is great. And of course, the Dixit pictures are always amazing. And like I said, there's a lot of variety in the game. There's, gosh, how many of these? I think 16 of each side of the doors. So that's 32 tiles, 16 times 16 combinations, plus a big deck of cards. Although if you own other Dixit products, you can just use any of the other cards as well. Like they will play nicely with this one. So I think it was a ton of fun. I mean, it is going to be random. Sometimes the cards will be really easy to figure out. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes the game will be frustrating. But for us, we were just playing it as kind of an activity, a fun time to look at really interesting art and to discuss like why we picked the pictures and what we see in the pictures. That's how a lot of the fun of Dixit, at least for my groups. So if you like Dixit already and want a cooperative way to play the game, I think this one is great. If you have family that might want to play it or casual adults, I think they can have a really good time with this. But of course, if you're looking for strategic play or 2-player, it could kind of work, but you'd have to just like deal some random cards. Or solo, definitely not going to work at all. All those might make this a miss for you, but hey, I enjoy it quite a lot, and I'm happy to have it to play with my family. So that is Dixit Kids. Thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Steve Wren, Casey W., Andrew R., and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.